mysterious archipelago that doesn't appear on any known map of the main world. Palpagos Island is home to a diverse ecosystem and even more diverse creatures. We're introduced to the setting as our character comes to with nothing but cloth in their fists. There's a friendly stranger at a nearby campfire that offers us some basic supplies, while informing us that their companions have been lost, being unprepared for the ravenous creatures of the land. From here, we are left to our wits and in an expanse of unexplored land, learning as we go. For this video, I'll be giving a small spotlight to 3 of the characters we are introduced to through the memos scattered around the map. Then afterwards, I'll include some other contextual and environmental points I've picked up that I thought were interesting. For the 3 people I'd like to give a brief overview for, the first serves as a bit of an exposition dump, while the other 2 are people I feel we'll be seeing more of as the story develops. The point of these summaries aren't to cover everything about these individuals, but to at least start building a basis of character. From here on out, there will be small spoilers for the story. The Castaway. The Castaway's journal describes originally discovering the islands due to an empty area on a map where they deduced islands should be located. After landing on the island and discovering a tablet and sphere, it's only a matter of time till they discover the item's capabilities. The Castaway is shocked to discover the sphere can capture the strange new creatures quite by accident, and the tablet is capable of keeping record of the pals, the term they coined to normalize the strange friends they gathered. During their exploration, the journal notes the absence of normal creatures the Castaway is familiar with. It's during these explorations that they discover a patch of ruins containing a mural with instructions for making the pal spheres. They continue to explore and grow their little ragtag group, witnessing strange things that inspire them, such as a pal ranting another pal. One day, when setting out for a mysterious tower that had loomed on the horizon, they approached another person on the path. Wordlessly, this person drew a gun and began attacking them. The Castaway made a hasty retreat, avoiding any serious scuffle, but the experience left them rattled. They began working up the courage to head back to the tower, but instead the stranger had tracked them back to their camp. This time, there was no running away, and while preparing to defend themselves, the Castaway was horrified to see their team of pals rush the attacker and dispose of them before they could be stopped. The experience leaves the Castaway rattled, and they decide to abandon the idea of heading towards the tower, seemingly repulsed by what it had to offer. They eventually discover a system of caves and continue their exploration of other remnants of mining and culture. Zoe. The Diary of Zoe introduces us to an orphaned girl under the protection of a group. She never met her mother, and her father disappeared a long time ago. Her father was a boss for this group, a fact she attributes to their continued care for her, despite feeling mostly neglected. This feeling of neglect perpetuates to this day, despite her now being a boss herself. We're shown the story of how she met her pal, Grisbolt, through her own experiences as a child. The group had captured the creature with the intent to sell it off, leaving it caged up overnight. Zoe felt empathy for the poor creature, seeing a bit of her own situation in its predicament. During the quiet of the night, she broke Grisbolt out of its cage and escaped into the dark. Despite having good intentions, however, she was ill-prepared, and they had to return to the group's camp, tired and starving. As punishment, the group locked up Zoe in the cage with Grisbolt, leaving them again in the elements. However, when the guards took to torturing Grisbolt, and the poor creature did nothing to protect itself, Zoe lost it. She gave a command to the Grisbolt to call down a strike of lightning, utterly decimating the guards, slaughtering the base. They've been partners ever since. It is also important to note The diary makes mention of the group being at odds with the Free Pal Alliance, well before even Zoe was part of the group. Speaking of the Free Pal Alliance, Lily Everhart. This journal describes Lily's growth from an idealist to a seeming zealot in her pursuit of what she views as justice for pals. Over the course of the entries, we see her view of pals shift from a species being abused and in need of justice to that of pals being ultimately superior to humans. The brochure she provides is a list of decrees from the Free Pal Alliance, stating this idolatry in no small terms. She also describes how she met her own pal, using instead the term companion. She was traveling one day when she discovered a group of poachers attacking a pal. Seemingly taken over by anger, she single-handedly dispatched the entire group, saving the pal. General notes. I noticed in Zoe's diary, she only seems to refer to the Rain Syndicate as a group, not a gang. Not sure if this is intentional or just an artifact of localization. We have typical environmental storytelling like ruins and bridges throughout the map being indicators of a past society. These large structures take organization and motivation on a scale that is larger than just any one crazy person's capabilities. However, one structure I ran across does seem to imply a bit more. At the end of one particular bridge are two statues of Palladius. Palladii? Pluralized Palladius. They're crossing each other in a fighting stance. These statues are almost as large as the surrounding mountain outcroppings, and their position over the pathway at the end of the bridge heavily indicates that something extremely significant used to take place in this area. My own interpretation would be a Colosseum setting, or maybe even a great battle in some type of civil war. I say this because they chose the same pal to be fighting itself. If it was truly separate factions, I'd be inclined to think that it would at least be two different pals, or even a human versus a pal, or some other type of mixed contest. The Free Pal Alliance has a base on the map with a location named Hypocrite Hill. This is hilarious. A PIDF officer in a settlement tells you that there used to be a lot more people before Rain Syndicate chased them away, and somehow their income is tied to this fact. They even offer to do anything as long as the price is right. There is a pal merchant in a small settlement that has a guillotine and a chair designed for a human with spikes all over it. These are torture devices, not even butchering tools. A hobby? These are just a small excerpt of the weird and wonderful things you can find all over Palpagos Islands. The game is still in early access, and as far as I can find, there has been no word from developers about how intricate they meant the lore to be at this stage. With that in mind, I tried to keep this as broad as possible. There are definitely some seemingly conflicting info across the different NPC statements, PAL indexes, environmental storytelling, etc. Whether these are simply mistakes, different writers, or even in-world historical inaccuracies, we just don't know yet. I just hope y'all are having as much fun with this new and interesting world as I am. Keep it up. The numbers have been crazy. Can't wait to see what lies ahead. Thank you so much for staying for the stories. Have a good one.